We acted to unlock major infrastructure projects and get them moving rapidly, including clean and conventional energy, critical minerals, and new trade corridors with reliable trading partners.
We will. I heard someone say, ring of fire over there. Ring of fire. Ring of fire. We have hundreds of billions of dollars of cobalt, copper, chromite, zinc, gold. That belongs to us. It's right beneath our feet. The Liberals have been blocking it for 5 years. I'm going to move to grant the permits within 6 months. Let's dig some mines.
On the Edge is for educational purposes only and is not investment advice. We heard from Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre on the campaign trail, and both were talking about resource development in a positive light. Now, I've been involved with a number of political campaigns in the past, and I have never seen resource development taking a lead positive role as an issue in a federal election campaign. This is one reason why we feel there are generational opportunities now for investors in the resource area, and particularly the mining space. As we wrote about in our March Top 20 Mining and Crypto report, the positive attention that the mining space is getting is one factor helping to drive this opportunity set that we now have in the Canadian market. We're also seeing a number of Canadian mining stocks going to the top of our InkEdge rankings. In fact, our top 20 report of mining stocks, all 20 had a sunny InkEdge outlook. That means all the mining stocks were in the top 10% of all stocks ranked in Canada. That is something we have not seen in a long time. So there's a tough competition to get into our top 20 mining report, and that's just one aspect of why we feel there's generational opportunities in the mining space. The other is our Ink indicators, our Ink sentiment indicators, and they track insider sentiment based off the number of companies with key insider buying versus number of companies with key insider selling. Still very positive, even though we've had some fairly good markets in the mining space so far in 2025 in general. So you add the fact that on the InkEdge ranking side, we're getting strong showing by mining stocks. On the broader insider sentiment side, across the mining industry, we're getting positive insider sentiment. You get the fact that mining is being viewed positively in the federal election campaign, and also that there are still a number of mining stocks that are not keeping up with the gold price. There's still potential room to run for a number of mining producers and some junior miners as well. So there is still opportunity on the table. Otherwise, we would not see our Ink sentiment indicators still over 100% in the mining area. That leads us to believe that we are in a very special time right now. Now, just because politicians and policymakers are talking about the mining industry, we still need them to deliver. And that's where I would hand out a challenge to Mark Carney, who has said this.
We will have to do things as a country that we haven't imagined before at speeds we didn't think possible.
Now, Mark Carney talks about wanting to move projects at speeds that we've never seen before, and bravo to that. Now, he has an opportunity as the Prime Minister to actually deliver on that promise, and that would be with respect to the Rook I uranium mine project in Saskatchewan. It has received all provincial approvals and almost all federal approvals. It is still waiting on one major approval. I'm going to read what the company said earlier this month in a press release about that one outstanding key approval. March 11, 2025, NexGen announces that the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission has proposed the commission hearing dates for NexGen's 100% owned Rook I project to be conducted on November 19, 2025 and February 9th to 13, 2026. NexGen commenced a regulatory and environmental assessment process for the project 6 years ago in April 2019. The Commission is going to finish its hearings in February of 2026. That means they still will have to make the final decision, which will likely lead to this process dragging on until the spring or summer of next year. That will leave the company in a decision-making timeline that stretches about 7 years just for the regulatory approvals. And as a country, we have to do much better than that. We have to have projects moving faster. And it's great to see politicians acknowledge that. Now, Mr. Carney, though, has a chance to actually deliver on that promise. Now, he is very busy these days, and I'm sure he is likely unaware of this project, but now's the time for his team to take an interest in it and see if they can move it forward to demonstrate his ability to deliver a project quicker than we've come to expect. Now, I know some critics will say the commission is independent, but these commissions, these Canadian federal government commissions, even though they may be independent of the government, they still have to act in the interest of Canada. And this long approval process is not in the interest of Canada. I think there's a consensus now on that. Instead, it's really in the interest of competing countries like Kazakhstan, Australia, and Russia. So it is time for these approvals to move faster, and Mr. Carney has a chance as Prime Minister to demonstrate that he can get things moving quicker. So hopefully we will see a speed up of this approval process for the Rook I uranium project. Sticking with the public policy front, on March 26, a new mineral claims process was implemented in British Columbia. Due to a 2023 court decision, the government had to revamp its mineral claim process to include consultations with First Nations. So it used to be, if you wanted to stake a claim in BC, you would go online and make your application and get your claim. Well, now there is a consultation period. The framework is basically split into 3 steps once an applicant makes an application for a claim. First step is a 30-day period where the government will bundle the claim into a package, and then it will send the claim to a consultation process. Some of the good news in this process is the government undertakes the consultation, not the applicant. That will take up to 90 days, and within that consultation period, they will try to determine if there's any areas that are contentious and may need some sort of accommodation. If the claim is approved, this will be decided within that 120-day window. So 30 days after the bundling, then 90-day consultation, then the decision. Now, on balance, I feel this is a positive for investors. I'm looking at this from an investor perspective because the process will deal with some early stage First Nations risks. It's better to address this issue as early as possible in the mine life cycle for investors. If there is a problem, you'd rather have it discovered in the first 120 days than a year or 2 later after the company's already raised a bunch of money and millions of dollars, and then, oh no, there was no First Nations buy-in, and now the project's stalled, and it's better to deal with that up front. So on that perspective, I think this is on balance a real positive for investors, and we'll see how it works out. This fall, we should start to see some of the first claims from the process, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that, and it'll be very interesting to see which claims pop up from this process in late 2025. Let's finish this edition of On the Edge with a look at some of the mining stocks we've talked about here. Back in November, we highlighted Torex Gold. We've been following this stock for some time. It's had a pretty good 2025 so far, up just over 35% as of March 28th. The stock remains in the sunny category, making it in the top 10% of all Inc. Edge stocks ranked. Some of the news that's helping it recently has been the fact that it's started copper production from its Mexico operations. Augusta Gold has been struggling so far in 2025. The stock is down about 1.7%. This Nevada junior company is now in the mixed category in the Inc. Edge Outlook ranking, so it's dropped into the middle of the pack. So we'll have to see if it's able to regain some price momentum. We've still seen a little bit of insider activity buying, so it still has positive insider signals. Just the price momentum is stalling a bit here, and I think that may relate to some investor concerns in general about Nevada in terms of the costs that some companies are seeing there. So I think this may be a broader regional issue for these more advanced junior miners. We'll have to see how this plays out, and given the strength in the gold price, it may very well resolve itself by having a stronger commodity price, but maybe that's what investors are waiting to see before they double down on some of these Nevada plays. Well, thanks for stopping by and listening to this edition of On the Edge. Make sure you give the video a like and make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you are not a member of the Canadian Insider community, you can sign up for free as an intro member and get a starter watch list, and when you're ready you can upgrade to the Ultra Club and get a bigger list and get access to core Inc. research reports. And if you need sophisticated screening and downloads, check out incresearch.com. Until next time, take care.